Good morning, and we're down the allotment. It's a nice, hot, sticky day. I'm not going to do too much in the polytunnel. I'm not sure what the temperature is at the moment, but it's gone well past 20 degrees. So I'm going to do a bit of work outside, but just show you what's been happening in the polytunnel. So hopefully you can see the tomatoes are all reaching the tops now, and we've got lots of tomatoes on the plants. If I'll just come around this way. So we've got a few tomatoes just starting to change colour. They're a little bit late really, but hopefully we can get a nice crop. They're all tied in. Most are going into the strings at the top now. And the other thing is we've got cucumbers. I think my wife's just picked those, so I can't show you. Let me just walk down this way. There's some what's to the left, so you can see the cucumbers are starting to come. We've got carrots in buckets coming on nicely. So we've got one there, we've got one down the far end, and we've got two over that side, one just starting and one almost ready to harvest. Our spring onions, will be harvesting those, and our new batch of radish down there, although we've got some caterpillars in here, so I'm fighting those at the moment. I've got to tie a couple of the cucumbers up as well. I'll do that just before I leave. If we go outside, we have been picking cauliflowers. I will put a picture of some of the collies that we've picked. We've given quite a few away. One thing I haven't shown before is all the nice sunflowers that we've got, and we've got more to come. Okay, if I come back this way a little bit, you can see we've got our sweet corn, so that's looking nice and strong. Did do a video when I planted this out, and we've got pumpkins growing through. One of the jobs I did the other day was to lift all the shallots. They were in this bed here. This bed's now been prepared for next year. So it's had some used compost dropped on, then it's had some rabbit bedding, used rabbit bedding put on there, and that will stay like that for the winter now, and I'm not going to use that bed again. Different part of the allotment now. This is a Calabrese bed I'm going to show you, and this is one of the problems that we've got. So I'll just show you exactly what I mean. So if we look under here, you can see there's what appears to be some very healthy Calabrese going that way, and if we come down this way, we've got some very weak plants. If I just take this one, you can see what the problem is. So we've got clubroot in this bed. Those healthy plants are also affected. Okay, so both the healthy plants and the weaker plants are all affected in that bed. So all we can do, I'm going to leave the healthy plants in and then see if I can get a crop off them. The weaker plants I'm going to take up, and they'll all be taken away. I'm not going to put these on the compost pile down the allotment. We'll get rid of all of those. Okay, that causes me another problem because that's another bed where I can't grow brassicas. And if I just give you a little tour of what I've got on this part of the allotment. So I've got some weeding to do, but you can ignore that. So I've got the top cauliflower bed, which is okay. I've then got a cabbage and kale bed. That's okay for brassicas. This bed here, which I'm going to clear today and prepare for next year, That had brassicas in which had clubroot last year, and I know over the last couple of years these other two beds that have got onions in have had clubroot in the recent past. So now I'm going to take another bed out, so that'll be 4 beds on this plot which I can't grow brassicas in. Luckily I've got 2 more beds where I can grow brassicas, so if we come down here, this one is still okay, which I've got the cabbages in. Let's turn the camera around. So this bed is okay, which I've got cabbages in. And this bed where I've been growing cauliflowers is also fine, I believe. So that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds to grow brassicas on here. I'm not sure about this bed which I've got potatoes in. I think this had some clubroot as well. So that means I've got 5 beds where I can't grow brassicas. Anyway, let's get back to the work today. So I'm going to prepare this bed. I've got a couple of bags here which have got used compost in. I've got a bucket with some swift potatoes in. So all of that used compost will go on this bed. I just need to clear it out first. Get rid of all those little weeds. Okay, so I'm going to quickly dig out the weeds. Okay, so that's all the weeds taken out of the bed. So as I said, I've got some used compost I'm going to drop on. This used compost is from planters at home, so I've been growing flowers, different things. Those look nice. And now I just need to get something to put the potatoes in. So I'm just going to empty these potatoes out. The compost will go on the bed. These are Swift. This is our last bucket of Swift potatoes. We have got some Swift potatoes growing in the ground, and those are almost ready as well, so these will tide us over till I harvest those. Get the old potatoes out of the way. I'll move the potatoes and then I'll just get the rake and rake this over. Okay, so the idea is just to mix this up a bit. pull the weeds out have escaped. Okay, so that bed, it's got the first bit of its preparation done. Now I'm going to get a few trugs worth of spent hops and cover the bed, and that will seal it off, stop some of the annual weeds from growing, and it'll be left now till next year, because as I said before, this bed was used for brassicas last year. Then it had winter onions put in straight after the brassicas, so it was used quite a lot last year and into this year. So now it's going to be rested. It'll have one of the first crops in next year. So I'll get covered with spent hops and then do a bit more video. Okay, this is the last trug of spent hops. So these are quite useful. As I've said, they form a barrier. Just try and get them spread over the top. They form a nice barrier, and as they compost down, they add nutrients to the soil as well. This is one part of having an allotment that people tend to ignore, and that is preparing beds for the following year. It might sound a bit strange because this is the 29th of June. I'm already starting to get beds ready for 2026, but I find if I get the beds prepared, I used to cover them with plastic, but I found that that becomes a nice sort of sanctuary for slugs and snails over the winter. So I tend now to use these spent hops, which we get delivered to the allotment at the moment free of charge, waste product from a local brewery, or I use, as I did with the shallot bed, the used rabbit bedding. They both do the same thing. They form a cover. The only problem with the rabbit bedding, sometimes it will, if there's some seeds there from the straw and hay, it will germinate. I just want to show you this. I mentioned it a few times in different videos. The parsnips, although they do need a bit of weeding, but I'll show you what I did the other day. Okay, so if you remember, the parsnips were put in and there were little groups, so they've actually been thinned out and now they're growing away quite well. Like I say, there is a bit of weeding to do up here, but I'm quite pleased with how strong they're looking. So it's definitely a method I'll use again, of starting them in root trainers, then transferring them to the ground with some more compost added in each station where I plant them, and then thin them out once they've got growing away in the ground. Because so far it seems to be good. The next test is just to see what they look like when they're harvested, see if they're forked or whether they're growing nice and straight. Okay then, that's all the jobs done for today. See you again soon.